What's up, YouTube? Jake Blake back to give you another deck profile on my absolute favorite deck. Oh my gosh, this deck, oh my gosh, like it wrecks everything. Dragons, it wrecks uh, most of the top tier decks. It wrecks Mermails, it wrecks Prophecies, it wrecks Sams, it wrecks Lightsworns. Oh my gosh, like I love playing this deck so much. It just negates a lot and it shuts down a lot and it's so consistent, guys. I'm going to show you how to make Light and Darkness Dragon um, the pretty simple, consistent ways. Um, and yeah, so let's get into it. I run 2 Macrocosmos. This is an upgraded build of my past 2, by the way. This is the most consistent. I run 2 Magic Drain to protect Macrocosmos and everything else. 1 Dark Bribe protects against trap cards. Mostly that's why I run it. Solemn Judgment. Summon Stopper. Spell and trap card stopper. Amazing. Torrential Tribute. Blast away your opponent's monsters with macro on the field. Bottomless. Mirror Force. Starlight Road. Fiendish Chain. And a Chainable Compulse. Destroys. I tell you what. Alright, spells. 3 MSTs, still need the ghosts, but other than that, it's really good. 1 common enemy controller and 1 gold enemy controller. It's amazing. Got my secret rare Dimensional Fissures. Got Seal of Orichalcos. 1 Pot of Duality for consistency. 1 Creature Swamp. I love taking their big eyes and stuff like that. BLSs. 1 Book of Moon. And 1 Dark Hole. That's for the spells. Now, for the monsters. 1 Light and Darkness Dragon, the boss monster of the entire deck. 2800 attack, goes to 3300 attack with Seal of Orichalcos, and it has a continuous negation ability because Seal of Orichalcos, if it's on the field and this guy's down to 500 attack, he'll always stay 500 attack because of Seal of Orichalcos. So he's going to have a continual negate. And if you put him in defense, okay, never mind, I'm sorry, he loses 500 attack and defense. But if he's the weakest monster on the field, your opponent can't attack him, and that's a continuous negate while you have Seal of Orichalcos. So protect Seal of Orichalcos, and you have a stronger monster, you're pretty much set, which you will. So that's the boss monster. Next monster is Caius, just for banishing, removal, and burning. Thunder King stops searches and special summons as long as you don't have Macrocosmos or D-Fissure. 1 Mecha Phantom Skyblaster Tetherwolf. You normal summon him, you special summon a token. He can't be destroyed by card effects or by battle as long as you control that token, so they have to destroy the token before they destroy him. So you can normal summon him, special summon the token, and then Torrential. He'll still be on the field, they'll lose their monsters, but you just lose a token. That's it. And their tokens are tribute fodder and enemy controller fodder, so it's just amazing. Next we have 2DD Survivor, because they just come back over and over again. Good synchro fodder, and they just come back. Goes to 2300 attack when the field spell's on the field. 1 DD Assailant. They attack into him. They banish this monster and that monster. They just lost a really good monster. And he's skill drain proof, so if they attack into him, he still has his effect go off. 1 Mist Valley Soldier. He's like Grand Maul a little bit. Attack into their Spirit Reapers. They lose their monster, and you can attack for game and stuff like that if you have another monster. 1 Bullblader. He can attack into anything and it'll be destroyed by card effect if you can't destroy it by battle, and he takes no damage. 2 tour buses or tour guides. Sorry about that. Going to Levier and Zen mains is the most that I go into. Levier is just broken in this deck, and it's amazing. And with the field spell, they can't attack, and it's just this deck can do almost anything. Thing about this deck is your opponent has to be very, very careful of how they go about attacking you and how they go about doing their chains and all that stuff, because this deck will punish people who play carelessly. And I'll show you why. If you're open and they attack you, you can just special summon a Battle Fader, and then you can tribute for a Caius next turn. 1 Cyber Valley, because if they attack you, you can banish it and you can draw 1 card and end the battle phase. 1 Penguin Soldier, because if they swarm, they attack, they flip this guy up, they just lost 2 of their monsters, and they just wasted their normal summon, so you can attack them for a game next turn if they're that low. Really good tech. Um, I just love it when they have beaters and they run into this. And this guy's just a card that you just set. I mean, you don't really care what happens to him because he has a great effect. Um, and for the fodder of how to get Light and Darkness Dragon out so consistently is amazing. And it's called, I run 2 Mecha Phantom Beast Hamstrat. Oh my gosh. 1600 attack, or 1600 defense and 1100 attack. What you do is, if this card is flipped, special summon 2 tokens, level 3, attack and defense 0. Um, what I notice about this card is if you have Seal of Orichalcos on the field, you special summon the tokens in attack position. They can't attack the tokens because the tokens have the lowest attack, so they can't even attack this guy. So you've just set up a lock, and your opponent can't do squat. So it's really good. Gives you field presence, and you can enemy control their monsters and tribute off of those. And you can set this card your turn. Your opponent goes. Let's say they attack. He's flipped. You special summon 2 tokens. He can't be destroyed as long as the tokens are on the field. And then the next turn you just tribute for a Light and Darkness Dragon, and they can't really do anything. And you run through MST, so they're not really going to run into Judgment or anything like that. So this card is by far one of my favorite cards in the deck, and it just gives you so many opportunities. And if you don't have a Light and Darkness Dragon and you have a Cyber Valley, you just normal summon the Cyber Valley, banish the token in him, and you draw 2 cards, and you still have 1 more token on the field, and this card can't be destroyed. I am so fortunate to have run into these cards. Like, oh my gosh, they help so much. Now to the extra deck. I won 1 Elector for the Sovereign of Birds because his effect is if your opponent controls 2 monsters with the same attribute, you can special summon this card. You can target 1 monster they control. That an effect is negated. I think until the end phase. Nope, it's negated permanently. So I've had him destroy Gachi Gachi. I've had him destroy what do you call it? Zenmaines. Like he saves a lot of stuff. He's a side deck card though, so make sure you be careful about that. 1 Grand Mole because he gets over stuff, and if they synchro or exceed a lot, I'll just have him in there. 1 DD Assailant because I still love the card. 1 Kaiku, the Ghost Destroyer, because he stops Chaos Dragons. I might take him out just because I have macro and stuff, but he becomes a 2300 attack beater. And also, when he inflicts battle damage, you can remove 2 cards, up to 2 cards from the graveyard from play. 1 Doomcal Knight, just for like effect decks that use effects a lot, I just run him and negate it. 1 Breaker the Magical Warrior, because if you normal summon this card, next turn they have to be careful about what they set, and also they are forced to bottomless it. Also, I run 2 Vendalgan for the side deck. Just for cards that are really heavy in spell and trap cards, I just run him. Took him out because I didn't really like dead drawing him. So, 1 Vanity's Fiend. This I can just run him easily. And if I don't get the token, it doesn't really matter because you run Seal of Orichalcos, so you already know that you can't special summon too much in this deck. But it stops a lot of decks out there. I want to run Ryza. I might take out Kais for this card, just depends on what I go against, because I love putting the top card back on their deck. Just amazing. Next, Deck Devastation Virus, Divine Wrath, Huge Revolution is over, Gravekeeper Servant, 1 Soul Release for Lightsworns. Really good card, really underrated, and people don't see it coming. So, yeah. Okay, on to the extra deck. Mist Valley Thunderlord, Blackwing Dragon, Scrap Dragon, Dark End Dragon, Stardust Dragon, Shockmaster, Gemnite Pearl, Gaga Cowboy, number 50, Black Ship of Corn, Slacker Magician, 39 Utopia, Leviair, Photon, Papilla Operative, and Wind Up Zenmaines. Thank you for watching, everybody. Appreciate it. If you run this deck, you will not be disappointed. It's so great. I love this deck. It beats all my decks so far, and I just haven't lost with it since I've made it. And yeah, just try it. But please subscribe. Let me know what you think. Yeah, Light and Darkness.